Welcome to the channel, Optical Mechanic here. This video is the first of two videos that I'm in the process of putting together, which will show the design and build of a rear tool post for a Myford Super 7 lathe. And what you see in front of you here is a mock-up of my Pewe Tools size AA tool post, just perched there on top of a couple of V-blocks. The purpose of this short video series is to show the design considerations and how I'm putting together my answer to a rear tool post. And I've been toying with this idea for a little while. I've been looking at a number of options. One of those options is the Hemingway Kits rear tool post, which is quite a comprehensive kit of parts. It includes the main tool post, also it has a rotating tool post where you can have a couple of tools in, and also the clamping lever, and so there's quite a lot of parts to that, and it's a project in and of itself to make that. I already have most of what I need here, and so I have the size AA tool post, which I've borrowed from my compound slide, and I have plenty of tool holders. And the tool holder that I'm showing there now is for a parting blade, and in it I have an RDG Tools, that's a 2mm blade in there at the moment. So the bit that I'm looking to make is the column which will mount the multi-fix tool post onto the cross slide. And I'll also be making a T-nut. So that's the project, and I've got a couple of little tweaks that might be a little bit different to some other people's approaches to this. Okay, so we're over at the bench, and I've prepared a rough sketch of what my rear tool post is going to look like, and it's pretty much just one piece of material. I'm planning to make this out of cast iron. I do have some handy lumps of aluminium, which would be easy to machine. Probably wouldn't be that hard wearing though, if I were to take the tool post on and off, but it probably wouldn't be that much of an issue. The main purpose or the main reason for not using aluminium is that cast irons differ, and it might give me a bit more of a benefit in that regard. So here we have the tool post with a tool holder on it, and so a couple of considerations that I needed to make. I needed to know what the height would be from the bottom face of the tool post up to where the tip is on the tool. So I measured that. I just put this on a couple of parallels and measured the height, and we're not looking for a measurement within 10 microns here, because I've got loads of adjustment in here, and it just needs to be nominally in the right place. And I've positioned the height of this tool relative to the tool post so that it's central about the band here, which pulls the tool holder against the tool post, rather than having it sticking up or sticking down. I've designed it around having this in the ideal position, and that is the ideal position. Okay, and then the next thing I needed to know, the overall tool height from the bed on a Myford is 89mm. So if that's the bed, if I just draw that in there just to explain, and then this tool post would be up here somewhere. So if I draw that as the tool post, it's very rough, so you'll have to forgive me. And then if I ignore the tool holder for a second and just draw the blade slightly lower, there's the blade with the insert. And so what I'm looking to do is make sure that I end up with that dimension there at 89mm. So in between, of course, I've got the top surface of the cross slide, which we'll draw that in there just pretty roughly. So okay, so what I need to know now is what that dimension is there from there to there. And rather than bore you with a load of measurements on the machine, I've already done that, and that dimension there is 46 millimeters. So that's the thickness that I need to make my tool post there. So that's that dimension. Oh no, apologies, I'm wrong. It's not that dimension. I've dimensioned it incorrectly. I calculated it before. I did take the measurements. Sorry, this is a mistake. That's how I've derived that dimension there, and the overall shape of the tool post is going to look like this. It's mainly, fairly, it's a cuboid sort of shape. It has a little draft angle on the back. Not for any particular reason. It doesn't need it, but I just wanted to have a good sized footprint on this. So my intentions are to machine on a tenon on the bottom of this tool post block here, and that tenon will fit into the T-slot of the machine. And what that will do is that will give me registration in the x-axis, and it will also give me rotational alignment in this direction here as well. So if that was sitting down on the cross slide, it would prevent rotation that way. And the reason this is useful to me, or will be useful to me, is if I remove this off the cross slide at any time, which I may well do if I've got some large diameter work on the machine, and if this gets in the way, then I'll just simply remove it. But I'm intending to allocate a tool number to this into my DRO tool library, as I've spoken about before on a previous video, and so I'll give that probably tool number 10 or something. So in terms of where this sits on the machine, the Z-axis will be in that direction, and Z will constantly change because of the length of the work and so forth, but X will be my reference, which shouldn't change, within, I don't know, 10 microns or so. It should be pretty stable when I change tips. The only time it may change is if I alter the overhang of the amount of the tool that I have sticking out from the tool holder. Okay, so this cylindrical bit here, that's meant to represent this part of the tool post. So if you're familiar with the multi-fix system, the multi-fix tool post is a cylindrical post with some serrations ground around it. So just to illustrate, I'll take this one off here, and will this come out? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, should do. That should pop out of there, and that should come out. There we go. Oops, I don't take this apart very often. So that's it really. So that's that bit, and that will sit onto this spigot. So to produce that spigot, I'll be mounting this in the forge or on the lathe, and I'll be machining that as part of this tool post. And the reason I've chosen to do that is because it saves me making another component, and it's all one piece of material. So that just adds to the strength and the stiffness of the arrangement. And then that will bolt down through as normal down into the tool post here. And then to retain the tool post onto the cross slide, I'll be doing that by means of some cap screws that will go down through the block and screw into some T-nuts from beneath here, which will be located down here within the T-slot of the machine. So a bit more detail So it's a very rough sketch. I'm going to have to draw this to scale to make sure that I get the design right. I don't often produce drawings. I normally make things, you know, and see how they turn out, but which might sound a bit odd for an engineer, but my time is limited, so I don't always have a lot of time to spend doing designs before making things. But on this occasion, I'm going to design this properly. But overall, this is how this will be arranged. So I don't know if it's clear. I hope it is. But I've drawn these clearance holes in hidden detail. So first of all, there's an M10 thread going down through that spigot, because that's the thread of the bolt that goes through. And this is a bolt, not a screw. The reason it's a bolt is because it's got this shoulder here. A screw would have the thread all the way up. And then I've shown 3 clearance holes here with counterbores, so they will most likely be M6, and it will probably end up having just 2. So this one's a dead cert because it's definitely going to have a hole this side and a retaining point here. I don't know whether I'm going to fit this counterbore on what's left of that face, or whether it will be midway down this sloped feature here. So it will either be that hole or that hole that ends up being on the part. You can see a bit more detail about the tenon here. So that's the tenon that's going to fit into the V-block. And I did a similar thing to this when I made my solid tool post mount for my size A tool post. So if you haven't seen that video and if you're interested, I made a solid tool post mount for my machine to do away with the compound slide, because most of my machining is all orthogonal turning. So so if you're interested, there's a video there, and I'll be utilising some of the same approaches as I did there. So there's not an awful lot else to say about this really, other than the fact that I need to draw this to scale, and then I need to get on and making it. So that's pretty much it for this one. So if this is of interest to you, there'll be a follow-up video shortly in the next week or so, where I'll be machining this up, test fitting it onto the machine, and doing some trial runs with the rear tool post being used in some parting tests, and I'll probably end up using it for chamfering as well. So that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, and just a thank you to everyone who watches my videos. Thank you to those who subscribe. The channel's growing, which is nice to see, and this is just a bit of fun for me, so I'm just sharing some of the things that I like to do in my part-time. And thanks again for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.